Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaitlyn and today I'm officially 14 weeks pregnant with baby girl. It's crazy that I am now in my second trimester. If you're new here, again, my name is Kaitlyn. I am documenting and sharing my entire journey to becoming a single mom by choice. This little girl was conceived through IVF using donor sperm and I'm due May 3rd. And it's just been a wild ride to get here between multiple failed IUIs and a failed transfer, ups and downs of life with career changes and relationships and all kinds of things. To say I'm officially in my second trimester is kind of surreal and very exciting. I had a pretty eventful first trimester, not necessarily with symptoms of like nausea and morning sickness or anything like that. Those symptoms were pretty mild throughout my first trimester. Some mild nausea, some cramping, some constipation, and then just the big thing was I had a subchorionic hemorrhage. And that was extremely terrifying. That showed up around week 7 of my pregnancy, and I had a lot of bleeding. And around week 8, we realized that it was very large, surrounding almost 50% of the sac. So I was on pelvic rest for about 4 weeks. I've been very active my whole life. I was a competitive cheerleader my entire life growing up and have always stayed active. After college, I've trained for fitness shows. I work out at least 5, 6 days a week. And it was a big goal of mine to continue to stay active throughout this pregnancy, move my body every day. And being on pelvic rest was extremely hard. And it was scary because I didn't know what the risks were for the baby, miscarriage, all of those things. So I did go in for an ultrasound at maternal fetal medicine at 11 weeks and 3 days, and that hemorrhage had almost gone away. Baby was still looking great. Heartbeat was strong, great growth. So everything looked great at that ultrasound. And then I had another quick ultrasound at my 12-week OB appointment just to check baby's heartbeat. And I did get a couple of pictures. So I think the hardest part right now is this wait from that 12-week OB appointment to my anatomy scan without seeing her because I had so many ultrasounds at the beginning of the process. This wait feels extra long. I did buy a home Doppler and have not been successful in finding the heartbeat at this point. I know it's still early and I have an anterior placenta, so I know finding it this early or with the anterior placenta, like I'm not overly concerned about that. But part of the challenge as well is the fact that I don't have symptoms, right? I've had very mild nausea. Fatigue has been there. I've been going to bed early and getting some really good sleep. But other than that, I'm not showing drastically. I've had a couple of people point out the bump. And if you know me, I've always had pretty much a flat stomach and abs. So a little bit of bloating and having a little bit of a bump showing. But if you didn't know me, I would never look pregnant to you, I don't think. And so I'm showing a little bit, but not as much as some people I know. And I don't have any symptoms. And so part of me is like, are you real? Is everything okay in there? So I'm just going to go with that. I'm grateful that I have very minimal symptoms. The nausea has definitely tapered off this week. I don't find myself being very nauseous in the morning. I'm still eating a good healthy breakfast every morning, and that's getting me through almost to lunchtime. So nausea's tapered off. I'm tired at the end of the day, but I mean, who isn't when we're working crazy hours and getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to work out and doing all the things? Like at the end of the day, yeah, I'm tired. And I'm just allowing myself to go to sleep when I'm tired, even if that's at 8:30 at night. So I think I got like almost 9 hours of sleep last night. So I feel great. I made the official announcement in week 12 on social media. So I wanted to get that out because I had 2 really big events coming up this week at work and then one for homecoming yesterday. Work was great. It was nice to get it out in the open. We had a big breast cancer fundraiser, and it was just nice to not have to hide it and not have to worry about like who I'm talking about it with. And everyone was just so supportive and so kind and just really happy for me. I've worked at the same company now for 14 years. So these people are family. And I had told a lot of people at work previously just because they are some of my closest friends, but to have it open to everyone just felt really good. I have turned down a few relocation opportunities this year to get back into management. And I think me getting it out in the open that I'm pregnant and this is what I'm doing just kind of put all the pieces together for that upper management as to like why I'm turning down opportunities for management opportunities just because I don't want to move right now. My village is here, my friends are here. I have my house where I have a very low interest rate and I have space for baby. And so staying here is really just the best thing for me personally at this point. And I'm just going to be patient for an opportunity to open up here. I do make more money selling homes than I do in management. So capitalizing on the additional income right now to pay for nurseries and save for daycare and all of those things. And then I had homecoming this upcoming, or this yesterday, I guess. And homecoming, I was definitely anxious because if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I met someone last year at homecoming and that was going really good until it wasn't. And I was kind of in the middle of making the embryos and planning for a transfer last December. And then that relationship was going really well. I had some big changes at work and it was just a lot happening all at once. So I put the embryos on ice and just needed to kind of like recalibrate and get resettled in life. So I haven't spoken to him since January. And I was definitely anxious to see him because it did not end well. He wasn't there. I got to spend time with some of my best friends and run into old coaches. And it was just nice to have the baby news out in the open. So it feels good to be kind of over that first trimester hump, have everything out in the open, and really just embrace the fact that I'm pregnant. I think it really hit me with the announcement and all of the support that like my life is never going to be the same. This little girl is coming. How she's came to be is not going to change. And I'm really proud of myself for kind of taking that leap of faith to create the life that I want and to have my family. And it's just kind of surreal that we're finally here. It's crazy also to think that I have like a month and a half left till the halfway point. I feel like I'm pretty organized for baby stuff as well. Like I booked my maternity pictures, my doula is booked, my nursery is basically designed. I'm just debating on the nursery chair. That is stressing me out, as well as strollers. I thought I was 90% sure I was going to go with the Nuna mix next. And then at Halloween, every one of my neighbors is outside with their Vista. And I'm like, what am I missing? Everyone clearly loves their Vista because everyone has one. And I saw like one Nuna. So I'm questioning my thought process on that one. But other than that, I feel like I'm in really good shape. I don't have a lot of like admin stuff to do. This week I'm getting a quote on painting the nursery, and I need to start selling some furniture that's in that room and get movers to move everything. But we're in good shape for baby, and I think that makes me feel really good because I'm type A and I like to be organized. And then also in another month and a half, we're going to have the holidays and life's just going to be busy of travel and work and all the things that to have everything kind of organized and done. That way, when I get to January, I'm not like scrambling. My baby shower date up in Maine is set. So we have a lot of things to look forward to. And I'm just grateful to be at this point and to feel great and excited for what the future holds. I may end up scheduling an ultrasound at one of those private ultrasound places around like 15 weeks, just because I don't really want to wait till December to see her again. I do have another OB appointment at 16 weeks, but I know they're just going to do the Doppler and do a heartbeat check. So I would love to see baby girl again because the growth from 11 to 12 weeks was so crazy that I just want to see her again. I do have a lot more ultrasounds after the 20 week because of being an IVF pregnancy. I have a fetal echo at like 24 weeks. And then I think they do another one at like 33 weeks. So that's a benefit. But let me know if you think I should go to a private ultrasound place around 15 weeks, if you think that's worth it, or if I just need to suck it up and be patient and wait for the anatomy scan. But overall, pretty uneventful week. Thank you guys for following me along in this journey. Let me know what other videos you want to see. I'm thinking that the next couple of weeks are going to be pretty mild in terms of updates. So if you want to see any other content, let me know in the comment section down below. Until then, I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.